Hey, this is MwdaShadow again, doing something that is perhaps not a good idea. Defenders of Dynatron City. We gotta select our character here at the start. We will pick Ms. Megawatt, and timer is going to begin when I press start here on the newspaper screen. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we're gonna start as Ms. Megawatt. This is a video game where they were kind of trying to make fetch happen with a whole comic book series that in cartoon never came to fruition. They started with the game. They had a pilot for a cartoon that never got picked up, and then they had a few comics that I think fleshed out this universe, but there are 6 total superheroes. We're actually going to play as 5 of them. Hopefully, really only 4 of them, but I'll have to be careful with who I take damage as, especially in this early part. Alright, so one of the things we're going to need to do is we have a bit of a fetch quest here. We're going to need to get power items for each of our heroes. So there we got one with Ms. Megawatt. We're going to have to go into the drugstore here. Ms. Megawatt is by far the fastest character. We're going to switch to Toolbox. He is the slowest. We do need to get him a power item, though. We are going to use him for his attacking ability, but he is not an ideal character to use for most of the game because of how slow he is. Ms. Megawatt's the fastest. Next fastest is Buzzsaw Girl. She is actually the one we are going to play as the most. She is decently fast. Here, we gotta go into the hardware store to get her power item. But also, just her attack is the best to use for the most part. It's the quickest to get off, even though Ms. Megawatt is faster. Her attack is a bit slower than Buzzsaw Girl's. We will be relying on Buzzsaw Girl a lot. Alright, now we gotta go to B Street. Make sure I go to the right place here. Things should be right. Yeah. Alright, so each of these streets we're gonna need to clear. I think the enemies spawn in based, like, the difficulty of the streets increase regardless of what order you do them in. I just took some damage. I do want to limit my damage. I would like to do as much of this stage as Buzzsaw Girl as possible. We cannot lose a character, though. Alright, we're going to go around the mall now. Eventually, there are going to be some jumpy guys that come in. The walkers are easy, although as we'll see throughout the entire game, it is almost impossible to find these guys' hitbox. Alright, we are going to go to the back side of the mall now, to 6th Avenue. Now, here are the jumpers. I got it. Uh-oh, that missed. Alright, we got them all, but I did take a little bit of damage. I did. In general, when it comes to the jumpers, when they jump over you, they will land so that their hitbox is lined up. One of my bugaboos is accidentally buffering up or down, which doesn't really work. It just cancels both the dodge and the projectile. One more jumper. Another jumper. We're down to half health. I have to watch her health. We cannot lose Buzzsaw Girl. We cannot lose anyone, but So I gotta make sure that I got past the TV station. Alright, here's 2nd Avenue. Oh, okay, we cannot lose Buzzsaw Girl. I'm gonna switch to the monkey. He is not optimal to use in any way. His attack is actually good against these jumpers, but for reasons we'll see soon, I don't have to worry about the monkey's health. We cannot lose him, but his health is not an issue. So I can basically just absorb damage with him to get through this and make sure I don't lose a character. I do need to keep an eye on that health meter. We cannot let him get captured. Okay, clear that street. We got one more street to go. Gotta go down to 1st Street. And it switches whether it's calling them avenue or street. Here it calls them avenue. In the map, it calls them streets. I'm not even sure which to correctly call them. I guess they're avenues. Alright, so his banana throw attack stinks, except for these jumpers. As long as you time it right, then they'll get hit by the banana when they're trying to jump over you. For the most part, it is best to keep enemies behind you, but the jumpers don't let you do that. They just... Alright, now hold on. Let's see. Okay, is all... You the last one? Alright, I don't want to get too far away, and he's doing a bad job. The monkey is not very good at attacking the walkers with his arch shot, so... Alright, we have cleared all the streets, now we're going to have to go to the boss fight, but we are going to have one order of business first. We have to wait on that next screen. We're going to have to go to the toy store, and I am actually going to continue to do this as the monkey since he's at half health. There we go, we got it. Alright, so now we're going to pick up this comic book, and that is actually going to swap characters. We have replaced the monkey in our party with the dog. Alright, now we gotta go to C Street, which is where the boss fight is going to take place. Alright, we just want to go up in the corner here. We gotta get 5 hits on the supercharger. Hopefully we won't get spammed too much. This is annoying. Uh-oh, she got hit. I am a little bit at the mercy of RNG here. Alright, there we go. Keep the blimp off screen. We gotta hit the supercharger on the blimp 5 times. Alright, there we go. Supercharger fell off. We collect it now. We need to collect superchargers in each of the first 4 levels. Alright. Right now, as long as I don't screw up early, we are going to get Buzzsaw Girl a... Whoop, go in the door. Alright, we gotta wait up in the corner. We're gonna take advantage of a glitch. Wait for the dinosaur to start dancing. We didn't manip it by going up into the corner. Then it would actually start making robot babies. Alright, here we go. Gonna go up in the corner again. There's gonna be 2 on this screen. We picked up a health refill for Buzzsaw Girl. I want to keep her at full health before we leave, so hopefully I don't screw anything up. The boss in this level can do massive damage. If I don't manip these dinosaurs, they can do massive damage. Buzzsaw Girl actually is not optimal. I do not believe the top speedruns of this game fight the dinosaurs in this manner. They actually use Toolbox. Wait a second, that was 2. I'm good. Alright, next level we'll have 3. Then we go up the escalator again. Alright. I want to hopefully keep all of Buzzsaw Girl's health. Alright, where are their hitbox? Am I making damage with them? I don't know. It takes anywhere from 15 to 20 hits to kill these guys. I can't count. I don't know when I'm doing damage to them or not. This game is kind of messed up in that regard. Alright, we have 1 more to go, if I counted right. That's 2. Alright, here's the 3rd one. Get him to dance. Alright, now the boss fight. I need to avoid the boss's beam. I'm going to try to keep behind him so that he'll keep shooting his beam forward, and as long as I don't let him get too far in front of me, then he won't actually turn around. Unless he runs out of room, then he'll turn around. But now we can just keep pelting him from behind. As long as I don't let him get too far in front of me, he will not turn around until we reach the end. And we didn't. Alright, so we get out of there with full health for Buzzsaw Girl. We got our second supercharger. And now we gotta go to the sewers. And this is where I actually will be referring to some notes to remember the order to do these in. Alright. Take out those alligators. These alligators can do massive damage, so I do need to be careful. Alright, next one up here. As long as I'm like going full speed past them, I won't take... Where'd you go? I won't take damage from them. But if I am in their hitbox for too long... Oh, I screwed that up. Alright. Next up is First Street. And we are going to switch to Ms. Megawatt here. Whoop, let me go. And we're just going to dash to the end. Oh, we accidentally grabbed the ladder. And now we're going to actually use Toolbox just for his attack, which, where is the hitbox? Thank you, hitbox. Alright, back to Buzzsaw Girl. And we have to clear all of the sewers under the streets, just like we did in the first level. Oop, do not get hit. Alright. Okay. Next up is 6th Avenue, and we are going to get back on Ms. Megawatt. Go all the way to the end here. And now we are actually going to fight these bats as Ms. Megawatt. We're going to go down here. Whoop. That's not what I expected. Alright, got that one. The other one was kind of down here. There it is. Okay. Now we're going to go to C Street. And basically do the same thing here. Scroll the screen a little bit. The other one will spawn in on a lower trajectory. Stop. Alright, now 4th Avenue is going to be next. And I have to wait till that text scrolls before it will let me do anything. We'll sit down here. Oh, I accidentally grabbed the ladder again. And now they're getting away. So if I would have done this right, you can actually one-shot these guys as Toolbox. Alright, we're going to get back on Ms. Megawatt now. We're actually going to go up here and get to B Street. Scroll the screen a bit here. Actually, no, this is another one where we just skip to the end. Alright, there we got him. Alright, now the next one, we are going to go back to Ms. Megawatt and do 3rd Avenue with her. Where's 3rd? There's 3rd. Oh, that didn't register. Yeah, this game and hitboxes don't do exactly what they're supposed to do. We'll go back to Buzzsaw Girl now, and she will get us through the last street we need to clear until the boss fight. Alright, so we just need to cut through to 2nd Avenue. Uh-oh. Do not get hit. Okay, there we go. I kind of want to lure them this way. Alright, there we go. Alright, wait through this, and we are actually going to use Toolbox for the boss fight. We still have Buzzsaw Girl at full health, which is good. Alright, boss fight. Machine here. Just 2 hits with Toolbox. There we go, we got him. Alright, and we are now in the last level. I'm just going to use Toolbox to get to the end here. Now I'm going to switch back to Buzzsaw Girl. And alright, fight. Hopefully these monkeys will stay back here. Looks like one of them is going to be uncooperative, but we'll at least take out this one. The bubbles that are floating around can hurt us. I do need Buzzsaw Girl still for the next phase of this last level. But we still have 3/4 health. We're alright. Come on. There we go. Alright, that one is clear. Alright, find this thing's hitbox. We can basically stun lock it with Buzzsaw Girl's special ability, which we really, to this point, haven't used as an attack. We've only used it because she can't climb ladders. Okay, we have cleared out this part. We still have a little bit of health left with Buzzsaw Girl. I'm going to use her until we run out of health. Which will be soon, but she now has to fight her own robot doppelgangers. And hopefully she'll be able to get at least one of them. Okay, we lost her. I'm actually going to switch to Radium Dog next. He's actually going to be, hopefully, our hero for the last boss fight. I kind of need to keep Ms. Megawatt alive as a backup. But we can... There, Radium Dog got most of the way through that one. We still have 3/4 health. Now, part of my story with this game is we did it for board boosters a couple years ago. I think it was actually the 2nd ever board boosters game. Now we see the final boss. And I learned the run using a video made by Uchida that is only 6 minutes long. It's really condensed. He shows a route through the entire game in 6 minutes. I learned the run off of that, plus some safety strats, and I was one and done after some save state practice. I did 1 run. And now I've actually only done 2 more unrecorded practicing for this. Alright, we need to use a supercharger. So we collected 4 superchargers, and now for the boss fight, we need to use them. Alright, and I'm going to try to smash him with these cars. Alright, we destroyed Shield 1, so now we need to... use Shield... or use the 2nd supercharger until we destroy his... Alright, Shield 2 destroyed. So let's use the 3rd supercharger. Alright, Shield 3 destroyed, and now... Whoops, I didn't actually use the supercharger. Oh, and I lost Radium Dog, so we're actually going to do this as Ms. Megawatt. Which isn't that bad. We just gotta run and hit him. Hopefully we're lined up with this hitbox. Alright, zip past them. Where does his hitbox go? There we go. Shield 4 destroyed. We have won the game. I believe actually can't remember where time is, but there we go. Defenders win. We won the game. So thank you. Appreciate it. That's actually, I guess, my recorded PB. I've only that's only the 4th run I ever completed of that game, and twice was in the last 2 days. All right, thank you everyone. Thank you, Nestblock. Thank you, Mad Mega and Saria for getting me set up and helping me out there. And see everyone around.